To the 12 tribes of the children of Israel scattered abroad, in the name of Jehovah our Creator and Jesus Christ of Nazareth, our King, Lily of the Valley here, bringing you greeting. And we're looking at the Philippines today, where the hidden ones, the ones that nobody sees on TV, which are the Israelites, are still there. You have to look beyond the people who got there most recent to the ones who were there first. The word Philippines also comes from Philip, one of the apostles of Christ. And you know, the apostles were sent to find the lost sheep of the house of Israel wherever they were in the earth. So, the first people believed to have settled in the Philippines were the Negritos. The Negritos are short in height with thick lips, flat nose, and kinky hair. They had black complexion, which is a perfect description of the children of Israel. You have those with the flat nose in the books of Moses, the woolly hair, the black skin. That's how Israelites are described. Look at you see the plaids. That's something that's common to Israelites as well. From the ones who are in Africa to the ones who are in the Americas to the ones who are in Britain. Okay. So how did they get to the Philippines? It says by some that Philippines was Ophir. Peru was Ophir. Land of gold, riches. You see the thatch huts. That's something that's common to Negroes, that kind of technology. So the woolly hair, the bushy locks, and the skin that looks like birth brass. So if there are people like these left in the Philippines, those are your Israelites right there. So how did they get there? Some, like from the Solomon Islands, they're close to that Asia. Asia was part of Shem's portion, and the Israelites, the Most High said to them, wherever the sole of their feet shall tread, they'll possess the land. So we have to go and find these people. You can't look at the people on TV and say, oh, those are Israelites or those are Filipinos who are on TV now. You gotta go dig deep. Where are the hidden Negroes that have been there suffering? Those are your Israelites. Okay. So how they got there, you can look at the Encyclopedia Judaica. Before they got there, they were already there from the days of Solomon. Remember, wherever Israelites are, they already know where their brethren are. Because that's how we ended up in the Americas from the days of Solomon. When the Inquisition came, we knew where to flee because we always knew where our brethren are. The same suffering you're going to see and the same prosperity, you'll see it amongst the Israelites. So we always knew where each other were. So persecution of the Jews, the Inquisition of the church against the Jews from 1481 to 1434. And this is the Catholic Church or the Jesuits, the ones who put the Negroes in slavery in addition to everybody else listed in Psalm 83. That's why you see some of these Negroes became colonized, breeded out. They have another religion called Catholic religion, which is not really a religion because 1 John, 2 John, 3 John prophesied against the Catholics. They are idolaters. And one of the two beasts in Revelation 13, y'all have to know how these things come into play in terms of Bible prophecy. So persecution of the Jews, the Inquisition of the church against the Jews, 1481 to 1834. How criminal Catholic, quote-unquote Christian church and the criminal Pope justified anonymous allegations against the Jews and new Christians with torture, degradation, and burning and confiscation of property. In addition to that, they were exiled. The Inquisition in the Spanish colonies. So a lot of them were sent to everywhere Spain was. Everywhere and where Spain was not. Okay? So Philippine Islands, the conquest of the Philippine Islands, Inquisition victims sent to Mexico, stakes in Mexico with the Philippine victims, 1593 to 1649. So these Hebrew Israelites camp who think those people who are descendant from the conquistadors are Israelites, y'all need to go in the back bushes of Mexico, the back bushes of Philippines, the back bushes are everywhere and dig out those Negroes. Those are your Israelites, okay? Those are them. Some of them in Mexico right now being breeded out who have no rights, who are not even counted in the census. When you look on Wikipedia, you'll see that no Negroes are there. Same thing in Argentina, Peru. Those Negroes that nobody see, those are your Israelites. Lost and hidden ones mean something, you know. Okay? So, the establishment of an episcopal inquisition and auto de fe in which a few heretics appeared being held in 1572. Subsequently, however, the authority of the Mexican tribunal was recognized over the islands. The work, never considerable, was the beginning confined to Judaizers who were dispatched to Mexico for trial. Thus, in the auto de fe held there in March 28, 1593, two conversos from Manila, Jorge and Domingo Rodriguez, were reconciled while proceedings had begun at the same time against one Diego Hernandez, who however died in prison. Now, conversos, you know, that the Jews who believe in Christ and the Jews who didn't believe in Christ had a perpetual war against each other, because the Most High sent the apostles to tell them the good news to stop their wicked, evil, idolatrous ways and to accept Christ as king. Now they were already in their trainings, they already by their forefathers, they have their own laws, so it was never an easy process, and it's still not easy to this day. But that's our job, to teach them that the kingdom is going to be one under Christ, just like it was under Solomon, David, and Saul. Christ is the head of the children of Israel, the head of all the Jews in the earth. Jews are called Christians, Hebrews, Israelites, patriarchs, saints. Okay. So Manuel Delgar, an attorney from Manila, was reconciled at Mexico on March 25th, 1601, and three Judaizers from the Philippines were burned in effigy at the Great Auto de Fe in the same city on 11 April 1649. From this period down to the abolition of the Inquisition at the beginning of the 19th century, the Inquisition was inactive in the Philippines, and there is no further mention of Judaizers in connection with it. Now, this Inquisition also applied to the Negroes who were in the royal family, who were Anglicans or who were Protestants. They were also banished, exiled, properties confiscated, sold into slavery, killed. It took a couple hundred years of this activity, and they're still doing it to this day. All right. So that's how comes more Jews ended up in the Philippines. Same thing with the Solomon Islands, okay? Because they call the Philippines, Solomon Islands, Peru, Ophir, okay? So, the Negritos who are there, that's who you're going to be looking for, the Negritos. That's what they look like. Those are your original Israelites. Just like the Bible said, they got bushy hair, woolly hair, and ruddy complexion or a black complexion. If you see people now who call themselves Israelites who don't look like the traditional Israelites, it means they've been conquered or breeded out. So they would have to come back on the side of Israelite blood to be Israelites. That takes about 3 generations, depending on who the mixture is. So that's the old time Negrito Filipino, what they look like. So as long as you can drop them into Africa and they look like Ethiopians or Jamaicans, that's how you know the Israelites. Okay. So in terms of religion, it's mostly Catholic. So all of the Negroes in the Philippines, they need to come back to the Bible. Forget about Catholic, come back to the laws, the statutes, the commandments, the ordinances, the judgments, the faith of Jesus Christ. Anything that you do, just make sure you're doing it according to scripture. Okay? And it says their population was already a mixed breed, a population when the Spanish took it over. Like just as you see how the mixed races are in Arabia, they look just like the mixed races in the Americas. The Philippines look the same. If they are mixed races, they are Gentiles. If they have kept themselves to themselves, amongst themselves, and produced themselves all these generations, then they maintain Israelite blood. So it's according to the 2000 census, 28.1% of Filipinos are Tagalog, 13.1% Cebuano, 9% Ilocano. So you see a lot of these newer type people as the modern population. But you gotta dig. Just always know you gotta be digging when it comes to the Israelites, because they never get center stage unless they fought for it. Okay, so they displaced the earlier Negrito groups of the islands. See them there? Negritos such as the Aita. They are the indigenous people, isolated mountainous parts of the island of Luzon in the Philippines. And the Ati. Okay? Those are the Negritos, ethnic group of the Philippines. Their small numbers are principals. The country centered in the islands of Boracay, Panay, and Negros. They are genetically related to other Negrito ethnic groups in the Philippines and are considered amongst the earliest inhabitants of the highlands. So they've been there from the days of King Solomon, when Solomon's ships were coming into these uninhabited parts for gold, peacocks, and so on. However, the Aboriginal people of the Philippines, along with the Papuans, Melanesians, Australian Aboriginals, are also hold silent but shared dennies of an admixture in their genome. So they were also mixing with other people from the area. But a lot of the Israelites went there from the days of old until now. So if anybody needs help amongst the children of Israel, while we sending money overseas to a whole bunch of countries that are not related to us, these are your people who you should be helping. Okay? These are the people your camps need to go find and tell them the good news of the gospel of the kingdom. Not the conquistadors, not the Siberian looking Indians, but these traditional Negroes. Okay? Some of them also have the yellow hair as a birth defect. And you can look at that, Leviticus 13:30, when the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, there being it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It's a dry skull, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. You find that a lot in those Solomon Islands and the Philippine Negroes. Okay? So now you know that the Inquisition sent a lot of the Israelites from Europe into the Philippines, and you know that they were there from the times of Solomon. Phillip is one of the apostles. That's possibly where they got the name from, because most of our islands are named after the apostles and the saints. All right, so we don't know much about them, but they can reach out to us on Facebook, or you can reach out to CARICOM. CARICOM is the capital of the Israelites in the earth right now, because we have to come back together as a nation. So you see, we got to go and find the lost sheep of the house of Israel and tell them the good news that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Notice wherever you see the Israelites are, you see the booths or the thatch huts. That's something that you'll find where Joseph of Arimathea was too when our forefathers went to Scotland. That's what kind of hut that he builds. The bow and arrow, that's typical in the Bible. You're going to be finding them in hunger and thirst and nakedness and in want of all things. See them? So we have to just know that our people were exiled there. We have to talk to them, see how they came to be in the islands, and if they trace themselves back by genealogy to the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, and if they're still black to this day, then you know that they are Israelites, not if they're breeded out. Okay? So they can tell you based on their history, their family names, the culture, the way they look, the way they eat, who they worship, the blessings, the curses, the shipments, where they came from. Everybody has those stories. Okay? So with that I say shalom, and our job is to go and find the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and to look beyond the face of the modern people and dig to find the first peoples who were in these lands. And with that I say shalom.